One of those fucking Roombas killed Steve last Wednesday. We're gonna have to be careful, boys. Those fucking things have self-defense on them nowadays, so we need to be careful! No! I hope you remembered to charge your Roomba, because Christmas is kind of late actually now, ain't it? But thieves have came to steal your shit, and your Roomba is all there is to defend you. And Roomba Forced Blood by Samurai Punk. So, this is a interesting game. It was a Humble Bundle original, which is something they've been doing a lot lately, like funding these kind of unique idea games of that. So Roomba Forced Blood, obviously being a parody of Rambo Forced Blood's first movie, is a simple little short game. I literally did it in one stream. It's not a super long title, but it is a fun little idea that spun off into what seems like a much larger project of a sequel, which I'm really hoping gets a physical release. I actually had one of the devs join my live stream when I was playing this near the end of it, and I when they informed me that there was a sequel, and I literally looked into it, I said, "Oh, that looks really like a huge step up and everything." I'm like, I hope you all work with Limited One on making a physical of that, I hope. Which, honestly, I think those very good odds are, because upon, looking up that, I had also learned what other titles they had made, and Limited One has actually done limited versions of multiple of their titles, so I'd say there's very good odds of it down the road. But anyway, we're kind of dwelling into more like non-game playish stuff, right? Yeah, so let's get on with it, shall we? So, Roomba Forced Blood has you playing a Roomba whose homeowners are being robbed, and, well, you're the only thing stopping them from getting away from an easy heist. Or so they thought. So, the basics of Roomba is that each stage will open up with one or more burglars. As you progress through the stages, more and more burglars are breaking in the house, and your goal is quite simple: to stop them from robbing the house. Now, being that's titled Forced Blood, you probably already caught on that you're gonna do this in a very violent and comedic way, Home Alone style, but more hacking. So, oddly enough, as a Roomba, you have the ability to hack multiple things in the house, and these activate different various traps or immediate actions of destruction that can harm the burglars. And if you chain multiple of these together, you can do even more critical damage, quickly KOing a burglar quite swiftly. Now, the house itself stays the same in all the stages, but the circumstances of how many criminals and things happen keep increasing as you go on. And to note, the last 3 stages are not normal. The first 6 stages are basically dealing with more burglars, but bonus stage 1, 2, and 3, 7, 8, and 9 actually have a unique twist on the burglars, and I will just leave that to thy who plays this game to find out what those are. But yeah, this is a very short title. It is not super long, and it is one of the sad things that make it kind of hard to recommend for a physical product, because we've always talked about this multiple times. It's pretty hard to justify realistically cost-wise for a physical video game to be like less than like $19, $19.99, because it does take money to manufacture them and all that. It's not free, so there has to be a realistic minimum cost at printing these. And this is a very experimental game that makes it hard to justify that, because it's not that the idea, like, this is actually a fun game. It's pretty simplistic, and you can get pretty spammy with the traps and such. Like, the bonus stages are the ones that really get chaotic near the end, in my opinion. But it is a very short experience, nevertheless, and the physical product is a lot hard to justify in that price range. On the upside, though, the game is available DRM-free on itch.io, which is very lovely, and it's oddly enough cheaper than its digital counterpart on other stores, where it's $4.99 on itch.io, it's $2.99, so it's actually literally cheaper, DRM-free, consumer-friendly. Now, I don't know if there's any differences between the Steam and itch.io versions. That I couldn't really find any information on. But, assuming there isn't, that's a fantastic deal and a much greater price range for this title. I do recommend checking out this title, be it digitally or if you're interested in the physical product, because it is a fun little idea, and I definitely recommend looking into its sequel, Justice Sucks, which just takes this whole concept into an insane fucking level of insanity. I really hope its sequel gets a physical release, because it looks so good. I think it is also going to be a much lengthier game. I had not really spoiled its length, though, but it seems like it had a lot more, how should I say, serious dev time put into it, where this was more of an experimental kind of what it was, game jams, kind of a game jam vibe, where it was a unique idea but not necessarily something they spent ages fine-tuning in that. Now, I did have one problem with this game when playing through it. After finishing the 9th stage, the bonus 3rd stage, for some reason on the clear stage, on the clear screen, you can't do anything else. It just sits there. I don't know if that's supposed to be normal. I would assume it isn't, because there are buttons, you know, saying to be able to, like all the other clear screens, to, you know, continue on with the game, but for some reason you can't do anything on it, which is very bizarre. On the upside, though, luckily, it will still save your score, give you any trophies associated with the stage and such, so you can safely shut down the game. So, it is a nuisance if you're going to keep playing the game after it, but it is still a slight issue in the game. Now, it is the PS4 Limited 1 version I played. It probably will remain as one of the few physical versions of this game probably going into the future. Because considering it being a much smaller game, I don't think a lot of devs are likely going to give it a second one anymore. Because I know some of the limited point companies sometimes snatch a game and we do another point one under their label and that. It happens a few times. I don't think this particular title will have high odds of it. Who knows? Maybe one day somebody will maybe do a Switch version, because it is on the Switch. But I did like the idea. It's fun. It has 2 control options too, which is nice too, because a lot of these kind of experimental games, sometimes people will, you know, bitch about stuff. And it's not that, maybe that was a more extreme way to put it, but some people don't have the ability to sometimes rearrange to kind of learn a different play style than what they're familiar with. Luckily, you are offered 2 play styles in this game: Classic, Tank, Scheme, which allows you to use the analog stick in a similar sense to Resident Evil, and the trigger buttons to move forward and backwards. You also get free movement, which just, you know, you just go the way the analog stick is pointing at. You go left, right, up, down, everything. And all around, Personally, I like to say the tank controls is the better option to go with myself, but it is nice to give some options though. And while speaking about options, you're not going to really find anything else outside that other than sliders for language and the volumes and that. So there ain't a bunch of other stuff in regards to that. And of course, there is one other little funny little thing to throw out there about the game too. You do have a score system with this title, and part of that score system is on top of stopping burglars from stealing the things in the house. There's also the whole concept of keeping the house clean. So while the burglars are going about the house getting blood splattered everywhere, you will actually get an opportunity to clean the house some more before the stage ends. And at that point, you can get a score based on how clean the house is, how many valuables got stolen and such. How well you did your job, young little Roombo. Young little Roombo. Overall though, it's a fun little indie game. I definitely recommend it. And I really, please, look, if you're watching this, devs, you gotta convince Limited One to do your sequel, man. You gotta convince them. I really like the premise of this game, and I really like what the trailer on the Steam page showed of the sequel. It looks really good. I enjoy these funny little games like this, so I really would love to get the sequel. I really would. But that's pretty much it for this one. This is a short one. I know I'm usually a blabbermouth. I could talk for way too long sometimes on these titles, but there's no real ending or anything to this game, so there's nothing really to go into about spoilers or anything in that regard. So let's just get to it. What do I think Roombo First Blood is worth? It's a nice little indie game. I think $5 is a fine price for it, which, again, assuming the itch.io version is the same as the PC Steam version, I mean, that's just a better deal then, because it's $2.99. DRM-free, you get to own it, you could put it on your own disc and keep it in your own ownership and that. But of course, if you want that elusive physical version, you're looking at a price range between $15 to $30, depending on whether you're good with loose, cribbed, or sealed. Which isn't too bad, considering some limited titles, go up to like the 50 plus, depending on the title and shit. Because, a lot of these people who are selling these are people that were hoping to resell them for more than their original price value. So they have been going down. So if you are looking for a physical version, they are not at a terrible price. With a good round number around $20, that's, like I said, what we usually say is for like a brand new physical version, it's minimal range, $19.99. So it's definitely around now. So if you really are interested in a physical version of this, now would probably be a good time, because probably down the road it probably wouldn't be too shocking for it to go up some. But sometimes it's hard to say. Some games sometimes never pick up a Steam, and sometimes it does. It's hard to tell. I swear, some of the weirdest things get fucking jacked up in that. And the sad truth to a lot of those is sometimes it's for different reasons. Sometimes it's because it's a actually underappreciated game suffering through a Picasso. Because, like, Picasso's stuff wasn't considered fantastic until he died, Like, it's a Picasso effect. But then there's also people who are trying to control the market, like, because there have been cases where people massively buy, like, all the shit, and then try to hold it for a while, and then they'll stream it back, they'll stream feed it back into the market through them controlling the price at a higher rate than that. And things like that sadly do happen, but either way, prime point, you're looking for a physical, it's not too bad. Whether you want to wait for it to see if it actually goes down more, or whether you don't care with that. But like I said, digitally, I would definitely recommend the Itch.io version, but it is on several consoles as displayed at the beginning of the video of that, so you do have other choices if you don't care about the DRM-free aspect of it. Anyway, I recommend getting it. I enjoyed it. It was fun. But I'll leave you here with a short little video on Roomba. Until next time, hopefully, maybe one day, we'll be checking out Justice Sucks. Until next time, watch it. Your Roomba might be a secret transformer. See you next time at The Proof.